Welcome to the Daily Load. I'm your host, John Watson. Are you tired of bullshit politicians, extremist talking heads, and a general un-American attitude in the media? We stand with the people. No more agendas, no more conspiracies, and no more f***ing extremists. We're here to sanitize, purify, and decontaminate the radioactive, misinformative propaganda. You can expect weekly content from us helping you navigate through the disaster that we know as the American media. Rachel Maddow and Sean Hannity have been stirring up the bullshit pot for a while. Somewhere along the lines between 9/11 and Trumpism, cable news has normalized conspiracizing. Rachel Maddow at MSNBC, who tapes her webcam at night because of her groundbreaking revelations about Russia, is falling off the deep end of journalism by sensationalizing the Trump-Russia connection. Meanwhile, Sean Hannity at Fox News, who drenches his audience in a bath of belligerent bullshit, is off the hinges with theories of internal government overthrow. Let's pull up some of their recent episodes and take a look at the insanity.
Okay, this is one of those A blocks that isn't going to sound like anything else in the news. And it's going to sound like it comes out of nowhere, but every once in a while we do something like that on this show because I think there's something going on in the news that even though other people aren't following it, I think it might end up being really important. So bear with me here. This is something that's going to seem like it is out of the blue, but you will soon see why this could be one of the most important things in the world.
Oh, great. This will be good.
Novaya Gazeta reports today that in early December, there was a high-level FSB meeting underway. Again, it was a regular meeting that included the deputy chief of the cyber unit of the FSB, and the deputy chief of that unit was at that meeting, sitting at the table, when officers burst into the room, grabbed him. They grabbed the deputy chief of the cyber unit at the FSB. They grabbed him at this meeting in front of all the other people at the meeting. They put a bag over his head and they bodily dragged him out of the room. And that's the last time anybody's ever seen him. But this dramatic thing that happened in Russia, it's dramatic for Russia. It may also be important for what's going on in our country right now.
What? Why? Why is this important for what's happening in America?
I mean, we just got this vague, non-specific order of some kind from our new president saying he's going to build a wall between us and Mexico. Today, that resulted in the Mexican president canceling his planned visit to Washington. Then our new president tried to say the Mexican president didn't cancel on him. It was a mutual agreement.
What in the flying fuck does that have to do with a Russian insider getting kidnapped?
And if these reports from Novaya Gazeta and other Russian sources are accurate, that a senior FSB official in the cyber unit got dragged out of an FSB meeting with a bag thrown over his head, and he's arrested for treason and is now in prison awaiting what is expected to be a secret military tribunal on those treason charges. Well, we need to notice that is happening. And we need to ask whether that has something to do with us. In part, we may need to ask whether the treason he committed, whether the foreign government that he's charged with aiding and abetting is our foreign government.
Why? Why, Michelle? How the hell did you tie these two things together? What kind of elementary reasoning skills are those? There was an unconfirmed report from a Russian news agency that someone was kidnapped and charged with treason. This relates to the president because he wants to build a Mexican border wall. Genius!
First reports tonight, including from a reporter at Politico.com, who cites several sources and saying that the Trump administration has drafted and started circulating text of an executive order that would unilaterally lift U.S. sanctions on Russia. NBC News has not confirmed these reports.
I have this crazy idea. If you have unconfirmed news, maybe don't put it on the news. Hannity is better at spreading out his bullshit, so we'll take a look at a few recent clips of his.
Now, for months, deep state antagonists, they've been working overtime to try and delegitimize Donald Trump's presidency, and we have seen how low they'll go by insinuating without any evidence that there's some sort of campaign collusion with Russia. There's no evidence. It's not true.
An active campaign to delegitimize the United States president. Now, where does that sound familiar?
Donald Trump brought up the issue of the birth certificate, and it's getting huge buzz around the country. Even Chris Matthews has called for, the birth certificate to be released. Why can't they just release the birth certificate, and just move on? Why don't they just get it?
You're not falling for that. First of all, Donald Trump.
Wait a minute, but he did talk in his book how he went and prayers, and he went to a Muslim school, and he did talk about all this. and he studied the Quran, and prayers at sunset were some of those beautiful things he saw in life. So he spent a lot of his youth in Indonesia.
And
So let's
show
get
the birth certificate.
show the
Let's
birth
get it
certificate.
Now, for weeks, we've been warning you about the deep state, Obama holdover government bureaucrats who are hell-bent on destroying this president, President Trump.
The deep state theory of America claims that government officials that don't leave with new presidential administrations and stay for decades are the ones that are part of the deep state. Hannity just threw in that they were Obama's appointees because he wants to discredit him in any way he can.
Now, the biased press, they would rather focus on anti-Trump conspiracies.
Ironic that the deep state shadow government princess is so worried about conspiracies all of a sudden.
Very powerful what he's leaving in place. The database that Obama's put together will have information about everything on every individual on ways that it's never been done before, and whoever runs for president on the Democratic ticket has to deal with that. Oh, that sounds like a shadow government. Sounds like Hannity's not the great conspiracy theorist that some people may think I am.
Dude, are you serious? Do you know what conspiracizing means? Literally what you just did. Give a vague description of one of Obama's final actions as president and connect it to a plot to sabotage Republicans and Trump.
Barack Obama ordered the tapping of Mr. Trump's phones. Okay, we're back to the same argument that Obama made. Nobody's saying that Obama really ordered it, but it happened on his watch.
Oh, really? No one is saying Obama wiretapped Trump? Can't think of anyone? What about the president whose butthole you devour? You forgot about him, strangely.